suffering and persecution and trouble. So I will talk to you John Gospel and chapter 18 and verse 24. So I will read you and then I will explain something. His disciple Peter. Do you know Peter? Peter, yeah, Peter. His disciple Peter denied and Jesus and three times. Yeah, 3 times. So this is about that. So, in 17, okay. The girl at the gate said, Peter, aren't you also one of the disciples of that man? No, I'm not, answered Peter. It's first denial and second denial. Peter was still standing there, keeping himself warm. So the others say to him, aren't you also one of the disciples of that man? But Peter denied it. No, I'm not, he said the second time. And third, one of the high priest's slaves, a relative of the man whose ear Peter had cut off, spoken of. Didn't I see you with him in the garden? He asked Peter. Again, Peter said, no. At once, a rooster crowed. It's very, very famous. And so I want to talk to you. And Jesus have worked for 3 years publicly. And at the end of the first year, second year, third year, as near the second year, almost people is the love Jesus. Like he's shouting, he welcomed Jesus. And so crowded, and Jesus and going there. Like he wanna meet some miracle, or he wanna heal from Jesus Christ. Some person want to touch his edge of the cloth, but it's very difficult. Like so crowded, it's very, very either the glorified and the praise to Jesus. But at the end of the third year. But however, Jesus and say to his disciple and all people, I will die on the cross. And then some high priests and Pharisees and Sadducees come to arrest Jesus and bring him to their prison. At that time, after that time, almost people disappear. I don't know. But absolute difference.
But you remember how he was praying in the garden?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
He was very sweaty.
Right. Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
blood on him.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But he didn't violate his father's will.
Yeah, right,
He
exactly.
accepted everything.
Right, exactly. So
He even healed ear
right.
when Peter
Yeah.
used his
Cut
sword.
off, right, cut off. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So but at that time Peter is so brave to protect Jesus using the sword and cut off the slave's ears. But after that, after that guy arrests Jesus and bring him, and the Peter's afraid, and he escaped from the place, and he denied and 3 times. So in all Christian, and you and me, and all Christian, sometimes we are happy, but sometimes we are unhappy. We meet some suffering and troubles in our lifetime. And do you remember when you are very young, like you're a kid at that time? And so we are teenager, who are 20, 30, and 40. In our long lifetime, we had many different experiences, like it's a happy events and bad news, like a suffering, and lost our my parents. My father and mother passed away for a long time ago. So many events in our lifetime, and how to think about our suffering, troubles. Yeah, when you meet some trouble, and suffering in our life. How do you think about that in Christian life? Oh, the first steps when you meet some difficulty or troubles, it's very, very difficult to endure this season. So we are wondering, and so we don't know how to do. So we pray. And in the Bible, you should pass suffering. Jesus said to us, you should pass throughout suffering. Because like Jesus is give the burning like a tool. If you are just a plant, dry plant, and what is dry plant? Grass, dry plant. The other is gold and silver. And all of the burning, both of them. Like a plant burned out, that's gone out, that's gone, disappeared. But the other gold is burnt, gold not disappear, like a purified, more purified by burning the fire. And this is our life. Sometimes God is that give us like a suffering or troubles, like a burning, fiery burning. It's very, very, it's painful for us. However, that makes me purified, like a gold, more pure gold. So we have to endure, and not option. All Christians should be passed through suffering troubles. And it's very famous verse, no pain, no gain, right? It's a simple, same principle. No suffering, no glorification. If you want to glory and in heaven, and you also persecute because of my message. Okay, so we move to the Matthew's Gospel. There are another story, Matthew's Gospel, chapter 13, verse 20 and 21. I will read you. Matthew's Gospel. And so, the seeds that fell on the rocky ground stand for those who receive message gladly as soon as they heard it, but it does not sink deep into them, and they don't last long. So when troubles or persecution comes because of the message, they give up at once. Jesus tells some parable, like some guys, like fell on the seeds, like there are different types of soil, like just on the road, and rocky ground, and bushes, and good soil. This parable is like the seed fell on the rocky ground. This is parable. It means that if you receive God's message, if you receive in the Bible, and you understand, they feel happy. And in the Bible, they receive message gradually as soon as they hear it. When you hear the gospel, when you hear the message, and so we are happy. But when troubles and persecution comes into our life, or comes because of the Bible message, for example, and Jesus and command us, you go to all nations and proclaim gospel and share my gospel. But if you obey and Jesus' commandment, and so we explain, we share gospel. Some person persecute us, right? Don't tell me, I don't believe you. Get out. Some person, like a Muslim, or some other Hindi, or some Buddhist, and can persecute us, like some country, they burning churches building. Like we can hear some news, Like,
you remember the story
Right.
in the Roman Empire,
right,
how the church was suffering
right, exactly. Roman
for
Empire.
centuries.
Right. Yes.
It's not one day or 1 year.
Yeah.
It was for 300, 400
Right, exactly.
years. But and the church survived.
Right, exactly. So many sufferings, right? The 400, right, AD was. So they meet suffering in Bible, and they give up at once. Oh no, I made a decide. I don't want to follow Jesus Christ. They forgave up to follow Jesus Christ because of persecution and trouble. So it's not good. And we have to endure the suffering season. Suffering and or persecution is necessary for all Christians to purify our belief in the Bible. And so we move to the 1 Peter and chapter 4 and verse 12 and 30. And fiery trial, like a fiery trial. And my dear friends, do not be surprised. Do not be surprised at the painful test, at the fiery trial. You are suffering as though something unusual was happening to you. That event can you in your life, but you do not be surprised. It's necessary, it's mandatory for Christians to live in this world. It's a very, very fiery trial, painful test. At that time, you have to be glad that you are shared Christ's suffering. And Bible explains to us, if you have suffered, if you are persecuted because of Jesus Christ, you also share Jesus Christ's suffering. And you will receive glory of Jesus Christ. You share.
Can I tell you something?
Right.
Going back to the Peter's denial.
Right.
I would say that we betray God many times
Exactly.
a day.
Right.
Not just 3 times like
Yeah.
we do bad things. We have bad thoughts. I mean, each time we're doing something bad, we betray God.
Right.
But He never betrays us. He's waiting like Father.
Right.
Waiting when we come to Him like His kids.
Right.
He's just waiting.
Right.
He can of course punish us if necessary.
Yeah.
He will teach us some lessons.
Right.
Well, it's His will. We don't know what's on His mind because we will never understand His will. Maybe when we're gonna die, we will understand.
Right.
But not during our life.
Right.
When you die, you will understand everything.
Yeah.
It will be open to you.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
But in this life, you will not understand more than you have to understand.
Right.
We cannot understand God's will.
Sure.
Because our mind is not God's mind.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
vice versa.
Yeah. Exactly. So with our suffering, persecution, our life is like more adapting in God's will. Like kids adapting new school is very similar. They cry and they feel some difficulty, but they adapting new environments. I also, because of the suffering and troubles, and we can adapting in God's kingdom and God's will. This is secret. Suffering is not good for us now, but in the future, it's helpful because we're thinking reminds our life. Oh, sometime I may forget God's will and like modify our life, change our life and turn to our life to Jesus Christ. Right? It's very, very helpful. So, and anytime, but Jesus and ready to help us. If we decide to follow him. However, we feel his suffering or persecution, and he encouraged us because he want to share his glory with suffering. It's like very secret. No suffering, no glory. Like some secret gift box. It's outside, like suffering. Inside,
It's how you
like
know,
glorification.
No pain, no gain.
right? Exactly. Yeah, it's inside, very beautiful glorification. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. So, and we think about all of them. At the end of the day, and the judgment day, and Jesus' second coming, and he will encourage us. You are